Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for November 13th through the 19th, 2023. So, before we begin, I'd just like to thank everyone for returning to this weekly series and to also welcome anyone who might be new to our Angelic Wisdom community. Just a few reminders. First of all, make sure that you have subscribed and that you're still subscribed, and to also make sure that the all notification bell has been selected. Um, Make sure that you leave your comments and likes and dislikes and as well. And for if you have any reason that you would like to set up an angel reading with me, you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services. And there you will be able to find the different reading options available there. Also, if you are a first time client, there is a first time promotional offer reading. Also, if you'd just like to support my channel with a donation, you can go to my PayPal me link for Angelic Wisdom. All of these links are in the description area below. Um, Find just a couple of other reminders too. The general monthly angel reading, if you haven't checked it out yet, make sure that that'll be the first link. Make sure that you check those out, as well as the monthly angel scopes for the different zodiac signs. So they're all posted. You can find them through Twitter or here on YouTube as well, and my Facebook account. All right, so there's a few little things I was seeing, and I'm just going to pause for a minute to go get the animal oracle. Okay, so as I was talking, they were showing me two animals, and also the first thing I saw was another detonator. So hopefully this has nothing to do with like last time, the week I saw it in first week of October. Um, and so I hope there's not something else in the world that's going to disrupt peace. However, there is probably also a symbolic meaning to this as well, more just as much as there might be a literal one. But we're in the time now where the detonators of the old paradigm of fear is going to start to disintegrate. And so, and they're writing in our consciousness. So this detonator might be something that happens within your consciousness. Within the ego paradigm, there are those systems or those systematic processes which um, uh, have created illusions of fear. One of the ways that I have been sort of experiencing this personally myself is, and I know it, but it gets us in the mundane stuff, right? The tasks that don't matter, but that turn into this huge matter, and it makes it impossible for us to to be responsible or to be productive in our lives. So, I was telling you, I bought a new bed, and it was a larger bed. And the thing about it, which my brain had sort of created all sorts of alarms about inviting something new in my space and having to manage the space in terms of, if you bring something in, obviously things have to go out. And so I was really getting caught up in that and delayed for over a month, nearly, yeah, 1 month, receiving the bed. I'd already purchased it, but didn't let them deliver it. And what happened was is that something broke down in my there was a breakthrough where I saw that all that stuff that I was worrying about, what the ego does is places an enormous amount of other tasks, that now this list comes up of all this stuff you have to now do in order to be able to do this one thing. And what happened was, all of a sudden, that was just sort of detonated, and all I realized that was what needed to happen was that I just needed to clear the area where that you know bed was going to be placed. It was a larger bed than I had before, so I had to clear, and and I didn't have to go through a whole bunch of other concerns that were on the list, and it was just as easy or easier than I thought it would be. For those of you where these kind of things don't get to you, but we all have our areas. And so this might be one example, and this will prevent us from putting up those blocks that have been placed in our way before. Um, Out of, I see the word self, so I don't know if it's self interest or self preservation, whatever the ego convinces us is so important, um, and to cling to certain attachments, maybe around space or whatever your situation might be. But this might be one such experience. Now, the two animal cards I saw that I just went and pulled from the oracle, and I'll have to lay them here temporarily, of course. First was donkey, and then cow. So the message here for donkey says, keep your heart open no matter what. Okay? Keep your heart open no matter what. And this is a really important message. And it evokes for me a message of service, right? Um, the donkeys have such an important message about service for us. And also, we tend to think, when you look at this, sort of this service where we feel like, um, I don't want to, well, I hear what's in it for me, right? Sacrifices is the word they're showing me here. That you might, really be tired and feeling like, gosh, I've just made so many sacrifices, and nothing um, of what I've done is really paying off for me. Everybody else is benefiting from what I'm doing, but I'm not benefiting from it at all. And so the it's almost like the Ten of Wands is a writing I just did for Tuesday, and it gives me this feeling of, you know that you're at the end of a cycle, that and we're the planet, and our ascension process is, we're getting to that point. However, we have to persevere. We have to keep our hearts open no matter what. There is going to be a lot of distractions and a lot of things, challenges, a lot of triggers coming up, and it's all illusion. It's all illusion. And this time you're going to know better. You're going to know that it is. That's sort of the good news in the midst of all of this. And that, don't let anything convince you to shut down. Don't let anything convince you to separate yourself from oneness. That's the this whole crux of the ego, is separation. Once it can convince us of this, it can convince us of every other lie that it's going to tell you. One of the things that came up for me in this week, and through some of the writings that have been done, which is very powerful to me, is about this understanding that we are all one. And taking it a step further, that, sometimes we get, because these are the things that can break us down, like envy, comparisons, right? Where we're looking at things that we want, and we're praying that they're going to happen for us. And what happens is, in this time linear reality, those things don't happen to us immediately most of the time. But there's a component of manifestation that they were showing me, that is really interesting. And it's that when you see in front of you the things that you don't have, but they are in proximity of you, that is to say, you are able to view it, this is a signal that your prayer requests are being orchestrated, that they're in a process of and being orchestrated on your behalf. And oftentimes we just feel envious. We feel even more bad about ourselves, like in terms of we feel more disappointment, more regrets, when in actuality, that is the moment that the universe is saying, we got you, we heard your request, and we're working on it. And what you should actually do is feel gratitude and appreciation in order to facilitate the welcoming process. So instead of when you resist it by, feeling disappointed or whatever, you actually push it away. Meaning, it's like a flight, a plane that can't land, but it's still out there, circling around, waiting for the signal for you to give it the okay to land. And so you gotta detach from your ego's reality and its interpretations and misrepresentations of the reality of what the universe operates in, which is infinite possibilities. There's nothing that's impossible for the universe, but everything is impossible with your ego. And so that is the interpretation through which we are all seeing what our desires, our manifestations, and we have to turn that off and reinterpret when you see that brand new car, that new home that the angels said, to you, it's time for a new home. And then you start to see homes that just light you up. That's the time to say thank you for showing me that you understand what it is that I want. See how beautiful that is? Or thank you for seeing, like, you want to be a certain weight and you keep bumping it. But thank you for showing me that you understand the idea of where I want my health to go. Don't just focus on the body, but where I want my health to go. Don't just focus on the specific of that beautiful house, but that the home that house would represent for you, because you're focusing on the qualities. The qualities are what you are is what your point of attraction comes from, not the thing. You don't want to manifest the material thing. You want to manifest the qualities that are within the thing that you are admiring, and that is what you're giving gratitude and appreciation for, because that you're acknowledging the spiritual within the physical, just like you and everyone else you see is a spiritual within the physical. And when you connect with the spiritual within the physical, and this is something this is all new they're giving me, this helps you to, they're writing the word align. Align with your desire. This is the missing piece in our manifestation understandings, besides the other piece I just threw out there. So consider this: when you meet people that seem that you envy because they seem to be what you want to be. And there are some people that you can't stand and you wish they weren't there. But again, no one can come into your proximity without there being a point of attraction, meaning a reason, something that is connecting you. And so the people that you see that have the qualities that you admire, or that they have the life that you want to live, first focus in on the qualities that they are representing to you, because that is what the universe is trying to remind you of who you truly are. And so that you should be grateful, because everything is a reflection of you, because in oneness, which is the true reality, which we have all yet to really play with or grasp that the need to start playing for it. And these are the exercises they're giving you to do so. When you do this, you will stop comparing yourself. You will stop the process of ego, which compares and creates envy or jealousy or disappointment in the self. And I did this the other day, and it was so incredible. The love that I started to feel, I felt as if everyone was a part of my family, all of these strangers on the subway car, which is a great place to do something like this. And whether they had, if somebody had negative qualities, like, and I'll take it, put in this instance where people sometimes at a job feel intimidated by someone, or you have a difficulty with this person, focus on the qualities within them that you are drawn to, because though that is the reason they're there to help remind you, because you might be focused on your inferiority and their superiority, it's out of balance. And so you're focused on the weakness, but they're showing you the strength, the qualities, not in the negative way that they're presenting, but the confidence, the quality of confidence. You might call it arrogance, but behind that deep, the true qualities, because all of us are lights. We're all lit up. Behind any perception or misrepresentation of weakness or strength as an arrogance, or dominant power, anything that's out of balance, behind it at the core is a light that has been covered covered by walls of ego, but the light is still there. So behind that arrogance is a confidence or inner resilience, and that is the quality that the universe is acknowledging that is within you, and that you can bring out in that moment that you feel your inferiority or the weakness, and the specific ways that you're perceiving it. So everything is a blessing to you. And then the message of Cow is give with unconditional love and grace. So here, I just wrote about this for the Tuesday, about the service piece. There's a difference when we give a service that burdens us. And I'm not going to sure if I'm going to remember this, but you'll have to check this out. But there's this true service, spiritual service is different. The spiritual service. So I'll give you an example, which I put there. The dragons had the opportunity to, with the rest of the universe, eons ago, to ascend into fifth dimension, but they stayed back in their fourth dimensional bodies in order to help humanity ascend after the fall of Atlantis, devolved into three-dimensional fear. And that was an act of love and great compassion and understanding to want to help humanity. So that was a true spiritual service. You might have the intention of doing something from a very spiritual place. However, we might lose focus and hope about it. And that is what would cause us to not be given service. Where here's the one message where we give up, right? Or we somehow lost our focus and shut down. And they're wanting you to recognize that service is something you don't have to figure out how to do it. It is a true act of unconditional love and compassion. You will feel the angels surround you with unconditional love when you're inspired with service, and you will also feel it emanate from your own heart, because your own heart will be responding to the service project, whatever it is. and you will feel this love. Anything else is not it. This is unquestionable. And it's this sort of alignment and integrity through which we now have to be aware of. We don't have to figure it out. We just have to be observers of the truth being enacted within us. Okay, so let's take a look. And it's interesting because I was seeing Archangel Raphael, and I had a problem with when I was shuffling, the Archangel Gabriel card got dented. The Archangel cards is interesting. All right, Archangel Jophiel. And Archangel Jophiel works with your crown chakra and connects you to universal knowledge and wisdom and technology. So it says, act with wisdom, use information for the highest good. So this is a week where, and again, we really have to pay attention. We have to make wise decisions. But the wisdom that they're talking about comes from love. It's unconditional love. It will emanate through you. It will surround you by the loving angels. And misinterpretation and misrepresentation. So we have to be aware, be discerning of when our ego is using fear to get us in to do something. It's very simple, although complicated for us as human beings, because we want to do the right things, but we have selfish goals will come up. And how to wrestle with selfishness when, in terms of something that is, there's being selfish in a way that is appropriate when we need to take care of ourselves. It's avoiding neglect, right? But then there's selfishness when we're afraid that if we when we're afraid of harm or coming to us, or of losing something at the expense of the greater good that can be done for everyone. Because true service is not only is a service to others, but it also serves the service. The server, all of us benefit together. All right, so we're the King of Earth. And this gives us a sense of stability in our, and maybe this is one of the gifts that is unfolding, this stability in the physical plane, a sense of more security and that grounding that comes from gratitude and generosity. I feel like there's the signals of generosity coming and going that sort of grounds us in our purpose for being here. This sets a foundation for new opportunities. And I also feel that the King of Earth, at its highest vibrational offering, is someone who understands the true meaning of service, that the generosity of the heart and the giving and the receiving of its own abundance comes from a true connection with unconditional love and with whatever it's promoting in terms of its work and worth. It's coming from a spiritual service. They write it's infectious and it generates itself. It generates abundance, is generated in and of itself because of these sort of qualities of unconditional love, generosity, and spiritual service. Wow, we have a lot of, wow, this is really giving us a sense of an auspicious week, as we have the Sun card and the King of Earth, back to back. That gives us a sense of, you know, you being able to really feel successful and to be successful in others' eyes, that you're and in a way that you become a shining example for others. And I just get a sense of because fire, kings of fire, and the king of earth is earth. And so it's this spiritual and physical alignment that happens within the self that generates true success. You're a light unto others, an activation for others, to really be on their true path or purpose. And the dreamer. So this just feels like the fool, where new beginnings, dreams are, your dreams and your goals are effective in this week. Now, this is what you have, the possibilities that you have to tap into. And all of this is sort of hinges on the way you act with wisdom and discernment. And again, simplicity, love, unconditional love and compassion, which generates a generosity of spiritual service. Now, they write the word forgiveness, and this might be for you about anything in the past, letting that go, or others around you. And they write the word of persuasion in the past. There was a persuasion, maybe a sort of, you were caught up in a certain type of persuasion that maybe didn't align with the integrity of your goals and dreams, as you are so compelled to be or do at this time. But it definitely signals that you're going to feel a shift within yourself, and that would be the ultimate success, and a new awareness in your consciousness, because this will enable you to have access to the clarity that of inspiration, that your divine guidance will be helping you to build more stable connections in the physical world, in terms of your manifestations, and fulfillment in your spiritual self or the soul. All right, let's take a look at the card I've already pulled from the bottom of the deck. So it's the Four of Water. So this card sort of highlights a, having this sort of looking at life almost through maybe it's cynicism. I don't know why this word. It's not something that people often associate with this, but we can sort of let go or give up, right? Or because we're afraid, we isolate ourselves. We're afraid of really reaching out to others, or being filled with what you might call false hopes. And so this is something that you might be sort of the undercurrent while all of this is happening, or available to you and accessible to you at this time. You're going to have to avoid this cynicism, or this, I guess, apathy that one can take about life, because hey, I've been through this, I've done that, been there, done that, and I'm not falling for that anymore. Now, they write the word earthquake in front of me, so I don't know what that means, but it definitely gives a sense of something disruptive happening that might shake one out of that kind of state. So there's two ways to get here. You can just plug into that unconditional love, that's generosity and spiritual service, shifting the way you see reality, that oneness versus separation concept, or you can be sort of catapulted into breaking part with this mindset. So hopefully it's a smoother ride, but it acknowledges, for one thing, in a more less dramatic way, it acknowledges that this is not easy. You know, even when the universe is always being this intentional in its generosity towards us and its unconditional love, we don't always feel it. We don't always feel it clearly or deeply enough, or in a way that is sustainable for us. Now, this is the angel number 4. So this highlights sort of the emperor sort of realm, and you might have your reasons for feeling this way. But those feelings have settled, and what they've shown you is nothing changes or improves. So change, which would be the next number, is the only way for us to experience something more or different. And you have that opportunity now to sort of break a cycle, to break this comfort zone that you're in. And so this card might be, just giving you some prescriptions of shaking things up a little bit. And maybe that's what the earthquake means. Instead of letting the earthquake do it for you, or one needing to come, metaphorically, do it yourself. And be, they wrote, respectful to yourself. I mean, you don't have to throw yourself in the deep end to experience a little shakeup. Do something that feels manageable to you, but also just a little risky to you, so that its impact will make an impression. Perfect words. All right. So I think the message here is keep your heart open no matter what, and unconditional love. Have a beautiful, beautiful week, and God bless you.